Good morning and welcome to another Advent Daily Devotion with Pastor Andrew. That's me. See, look, it's official. So today is the 19th. It is Sunday. We continue our devotions, continuing in Luke 1. We're getting to the end. I always forget how long the first chapter of Luke is. I'm looking ahead, 80. Yes, there's like 80 verses at least. So today, Advent 4. Already, this coming Friday, we have Christmas Eve. Next Saturday, we have Christmas. And then, of course, Sunday, the 26th, first Sunday of Christmas. Things are happening. So, how exciting. Here's the picture. I think yesterday, I might have chuckled because I saw this picture. It's people, it looks like they're moving or they're getting ready to move or something. I just chuckle because we have new neighbors, and I was letting our dog out the other day, and there the neighbors were, and they were bringing in new kitchen cabinets, and appliances and all these things, and they've lived there for a couple months, but obviously they're doing some upgrades. And the thing is, I wanted to run over and help them, but at the same time, my back hurt. But the thing is, these people look so happy. Like, oh, new beginnings. And maybe that's kind of the theme for today. New beginnings, moving day, things are happening. But I felt bad for our neighbors because in order to get in the back, they had to go in their garage and then through a very thin or a very skinny garage door. And I'm going to be honest, I sat there and I watched them try and figure it out, and they did such a great job. We waved, so anyway, maybe I'll bring them cookies. Okay, so moving day. Look, see, all these things from one picture. Our verses today, Luke 1, 72 through 75. Thus he has shown the mercy promised to our ancestors and has remembered his holy covenant, the oath that he swore to our ancestor Abraham, to grant us that we, being rescued from the hands of our enemies, might serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all our days. So for us to ponder, another quote from Henry Nouwen in his writing, Turn My Mourning into Dancing. Not like mourning, but mourning. Mourning the loss, grief, etc. Nouwen writes, those who can make us afraid have power over us. Those who make us live in a house of fear ultimately take our freedom away. Wherever we live, the invitation of Christ beckons us to move out of the house of fear and into the house of love, to leave our possessiveness for a place of freedom. Yes, I think that really sums up a lot of things. We must no longer live in fear. We now must live because we do live in a house of love. But I wonder what that looks like for each of us. Again, that's in our to ponder as we think of this devotion. And indeed, we do need to ponder that. Do we allow ourselves to still stay in a house of fear where, we're being controlled in whatever way? Or do we make the choice to move to where we've been welcomed, a house of love? Lots of metaphor in there, lots of life application, I think, but really good to ponder. Anyway, our theme, moving day. Zechariah's song goes on, shifting gracefully from the verse to the chorus, from the one to the many, from God to God's people, that we, being rescued from the hands of our enemies, might serve God without fear. It's interesting because the transition, it seems, from Old Testament ideas of fear, fear God, the fear of God, right? This is not, I'm scary, boo, sorry. But it's the devotion. He's going to put the fear of God in you. It's the devotion to God. Interesting words there, but now fear is being used in a different way. We don't need to be scared to serve God, right? Now it is about being afraid. Let go of your fear, but see, not the fear that we necessarily hear about and is referred to in the Old Testament. This transition of fear. And why do I bring that up? Well, because it's an important point, but then also, I think, especially as post-resurrection Christians, when we read the fear of God or we hear the fear of God, it's about fear. It's about being scared. It's about all of these things. And I think that's really plants seeds of the idea of a vengeful God. But is that the case? Is that the case? So, might serve God without fear. What is the purpose of God saving us, redeeming us, remembering us? Question mark. What happens when God keeps God's promise and rescues us, freeing us from all that threatens to demean and diminish us? We serve God without fear. The end game is love of God and love of our neighbors. The point is a life of unrestrained service for the sake of the common good. So, are we living in a house of fear today? What's keeping us, from doing what God has called us to do, for you to do, me, us? What's boxing us in? What's stealing courage? Today is moving day, beloved. God has made a way for us to move out of fear and into the freedom of wholehearted love. For this, thanks be to God. So yes, see, it's this transition into something new, which is, the theme of Advent, the gift of Christmas, the revelation of Epiphany, or the epiphany of Epiphany. All, this still baffles me. All the church seasons connecting, but in a very meaningful way, and in several ways. Good. So let's close in prayer. I'm looking at the time. Thank you for bringing us to moving day, Lord. Help us to leave behind the fears that confine us to spaces too small for the abundance we know in you. Empower us to move with you into lives of boundless love. Amen. Very good. Oh, what a very cool picture for tomorrow. But until then. So I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good Sunday. I'm excited because today we have our Lessons in Carol service with the bells and some readings, of course, lessons, and some singing from our musicians as we continue to move through this unpredictable pandemic world. Of course, if you're watching this and it isn't the 19th of December, 2021, all of that is a bit out of context because then tomorrow isn't the Lessons and Carols. But then maybe it is if you're watching this a year in the future, which hopefully will have a full Lessons and Carols without these. That's a mask. All right. Until tomorrow, God bless.